In the next section of this Upanishad, there is a beautiful description, exposition of the famous Ashtakshari mantra. Mantra consisting of 8 letters or 8 syllables. Om ityagre vyaharet nama iti paschat Narayanayetyuparishtat Om ityekaksharam nama iti dve akshare Narayanayeti panchaksharaणि Etadvai Narayanasyaashtaksharam padam Yo havai Narayanasyaashtaksharam padamadhyeti Anapabruvas sarvamayureti Vindate prajapatyagam rayaskoshangaupatyam Tatomritatvamashnuti tatomritatvamashnuta iti Ya evam veda. Ashtakshari mantra, mantra of 8 letters, is very, very famous, supposed to be very powerful and highly revered, and also taught in the Vaishnavite scriptures. Mantras are very powerful. They are powerful for 2 reasons. There is an intrinsic power in the mantras. Secondly, these mantras have been repeated by thousands and thousands of holy men over hundreds and hundreds of years. The parampara, sampradaya has come. When we receive a particular mantra from our Guru in that sampradaya, we should keep this in mind. That it is not just a word, it is not just a sentence, it is something like a seed which contains an entire tree within itself. By cultivating it, by repeating it with love, with faith, with devotion, we are able to feel the divine presence within us in course of time. Out of the few mantras which are very, very famous in our scriptures, Narayana Ashtakshari is one. In Sri Ramanuja's life, we find that he wanted this Ashtakshari to be taught to him, given to him by the sage Goshti Purna. Ramanuja was a great scholar himself. He knew the mantra. Then why did he not repeat it by himself? Because it has got to be received from the mouth of the Guru. Guru Mukhena, it has to be got through the Guru's Upadesha. Then only it becomes powerful. So, he approaches Goshti Purna, and after testing Ramanuja, Goshti Purna gives him the Ashtakshari mantra. But he gives him the warning, nobody else should know about it, nobody else should hear it. What will happen if somebody hears it? Then Goshti Purna says, they will all be liberated, they will go to Vaikuntha, and the person who reveals it to others like that will go to hell. And the story goes that Ramanuja went up to the wall of the temple and stood there and gathered a number of people and then taught them this Ashtakshari mantra. Goshti Purna was very angry, he was furious. He called Ramanuja and then asked him, why did you do that? You do not know that it was wrong. I had told you not to do it. Ramanuja quietly said, well, all these people who have heard this mantra, they will go to Vaikuntha Loka. They will realize God. I am going to hell. I am prepared for that. Let people come up in spiritual life. Let them realize the truth. And if it means a little sacrifice on my part, I am prepared for that. Then Goshti Purna understands how large Ramanuja's heart is. In the Vaishnava Sampradaya, Vishishtadvaita Sampradaya especially, 3 mantras are classified as Rahasya Traya, 3 secrets. There is a book called Rahasya Traya Sara by Vedanta Deshika, where practically an entire the entire philosophy of sadhana is depicted. So Ashtakshari, 8-lettered mantra is the first. Last one is called Charama Shloka, Sarvadharman Parityajya. In between comes the Dvaya mantra. 2 mantras as taken as one unit. Now these 3 together are called as 3 secrets, and they have got to be received in a ceremonial way from the Guru. Out of these, Rahasya Traya, these 3, Ashtakshari is supposed to be the supreme. Om Namo Narayanaya. That is being described in this Upanishad. What is Om? It is Pranava. Akara, Ukara, Makara, Iti. A, U and M. These 3 letters put together produce the sound Om, which is called as Pranava. Pranava is Brahman. Pranava is identified with Brahman, and through Pranava Japa we can also realize Brahman. But in this tradition, in the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta tradition, Akara represents the Supreme Lord Paramatman, Makara represents the Jivatman. In between the two is Lakshmi or Shri, represented by U. And without Mother Lakshmi's grace and Mother Lakshmi's recommendation, if I can use the word, the Jivatman cannot realize the Lord. Mother of the universe, out of infinite compassion, intervenes on behalf of the Jivatmas who are suffering with the Lord and turns the grace of the Lord towards them. So only through the grace of Mother Lakshmi, the Jivatman can have God realization or God experience. Vedanta Deshika also says the word Namaha is very, very significant. Maha means mine, Na means not, Na Maha means not mine. So when we bow down to the Supreme Lord, there should be the inner attitude of self-surrender. Nothing is mine, nothing belongs to me, everything is yours. The word Narayana, of course, has been defined in great detail earlier. Narayanasya Ashtakkaram Padam Yah Adhyeti. One who studies, one who repeats this Ashtakshari of Lord Narayana, what will happen to him, that is described later. But the tradition says Ashtakshari has got to be taken from a qualified Guru. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumiva abhigachet shrotriyam brahmanishtam. Mundaka Upanishad says, when a person understands that the religion of Vedic sacrifices is inferior, it is like a leaky boat or raft, he should give it up. Sarva karma parityaga. Give up all these rituals described in the Vedas and then go to the Guru who is qualified to teach him Brahmajnana. Tat vijnanartham, in order to know that Akshara Brahman or truth, he has to approach the Guru. And the Guru should be Shrotriya and Brahmanishtha. He should be well versed in the scriptures. He should be well established in Brahman or God. In the Chandogya Upanishad, the disciple tells the Guru, Satyakama was the disciple, Shvetaketu was the Guru. The Guru didn't teach him, so he was very unhappy. The disciple was very unhappy because he was quite serious. The fires, Vedic fires established in the house of the Guru, taught him a part of Brahmajnana. So the Guru was surprised to see that the disciple's face was shining brilliantly. But the disciple says, what these fires have taught me is not much. I would like to know the truth from you directly. Shrutam hi eva me bhagavad drishebhyah acharyadhi eva vidya vidita sadhishtam prapati iti. I have heard from my elders that whatever truth is taught by a competent teacher like you, only that gets well established in our minds and hearts. In other words, the Adhyatma Vidya has to be given by a proper Guru, fully qualified for giving this knowledge to others. We may read the books and start doing japa. It's not bad, but there is a much better method, approach a proper teacher and get it in the right way. And coming to the characteristics of Guru, we can dilate a little here. Bhagavatam says, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, Nakama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha vasudevaika nilayaha savai bhagavatottamaha. He is the best of the devotees of the Lord. In his mind, neither karma nor karma can come. He has no desires in the mind. And he is ever devoted to Vasudeva. Such a person is a Bhagavatottama. One who is well established in God, one who is above the temptations of the world, he alone is fit to become a Guru. Shrotriyaha avrujinaha akamahatahayo brahmavittamaha brahmani uparataha shantaha nirindhana ivanalaha ahetuka daya sindhuhu bandhuhu anamatam satam. Vivek Chudamani gives a nice description of the Guru. He must be Shrotriya, well versed in the scriptures. He need not be an Akshara Pandita, but he should know the essence of the scriptural teachings. Then he must be without sin. A sinless life is a precondition. And he must be Akamahata. He should have no desires in his mind, unfulfilled desires. And he must have experienced Brahman or God. And because of that experience, his mind has become absolutely calm and steady, like a fire into which no charcoal or fuel is added. The fire dies down by itself. So like that, the whole mind has become absolutely calm and quiet because there are no desires to push it up and make it restless. Then he is ahetuka daya sindhu. The knowledge that he has got, the experience he has gained, he is very eager to give it to others. Out of infinite compassion, he wants to save the world. Sri Ramakrishna told Sharda Mata, towards the last days of his life, won't you do something? Should I do everything? See, the people of Calcutta are like worms. They are suffering so much. You have to do something for their spiritual upliftment. So that is the attitude of these Brahmajnanis and Avatara Purushas. There is another beautiful shloka from Vedanta Deshika's work called Nyaya Vimshati. A long description of a holy man who is fit to become a Guru is given here. Siddham Sat Sampradaye. The Sampradaya or the tradition of the holy people, he is well established in that. He knows what it is. He himself is established in that. Sthira Dhyam. His mind is absolutely steady. Sthita Prajna of the Gita. Like that. Anagham, without sin. His life is pure. He is Shrotriya and Brahmanishta, well versed in the scriptures and rooted in Brahman. Sattvastham. There is no Rajoguna, no Tamoguna in him. He is established in Sattva Guna, Satya Vacham. He always speaks the truth and nothing but the truth. Samaya Niyataya Sadhu Vritya Sametam. He knows the traditions very well and his conduct and character are very pure, very good. Dambha Suya Dimuktam. He is free from ostentation and jealousy and other mean qualities which make us miserable in life. Jita Vishaya Ganam. He has conquered senses and the sense organs and the sense objects. Dirgha Bandhum. Once he becomes your friend, he is your friend forever. His friendship does not depend upon worldly considerations, but only upon infinite compassion because of his spiritual experiences. Dayalum, full of compassion. Skalitye Shasita. Well, this doesn't mean that he will simply remain a mute witness when the disciple commits mistakes. No. If the disciple slips, commits mistakes, he chastises him. puts him back on the right road. Swaparahita param. He is ever devoted to doing good to others. Satya deshika or guru bhushnuhu ipsed. One who is wishing spiritual prosperity should approach such a guru as described here. Prapanchasara is another work which is attributed to Bhagavan Shankara. It is a mantra shastra, a very detailed work on various mantras. The mantras and then how to repeat them, how to do japa, what is the dhyana shloka, what are the rituals connected with these. Everything is described there. And in that work there is one shloka which gives the preconditions for japa and meditation. Sujirna mita bhojanaha sukha samapta nidradikaha sushuddha tala sadgrihe virahite cha shitadibhihi pata ajina kusha uttare suvishade cha mrudu asane nimilita vilocanaha prativishet sukham pranmukhaha. If you want to sit for japa, meditation, prayer, these are the preconditions. Sujirna mita bhojanaha. You should not have loaded your stomach. You should have eaten sparingly. And most of it must have been digested. If it is completely digested, you will be feeling hungry. You cannot meditate upon God. If the stomach is full, you will feel sleepy. So it must be midway between these two. Sukha samapta nidradikaha. The bodily needs must have been met. You must have had a good sleep. Now you must be feeling fresh. Sushuddhatala sadgrihe virahite cha shitadibhihi. The place that you choose for meditation should be in a temperate climate, no extremes, neither too hot nor too cold, and the place itself should be clean and level ground. Pata ajina kusha uttare. Then the asana that you use for meditation, you should first spread kusha grass, over that put the skin, deer skin, over that a piece of cloth, then you sit upon that. The seat must be soft. If it is very hard, then you will be meditating upon your limbs, not upon God. So the asana must be soft. And what about the eyes? Nimilita vilochana. You should neither close the eyes completely nor keep the eyes open. Ardha nimilita akshaha. That is because if you close completely, then you may feel sleepy. If you keep it open, then you may be tempted by things outside. So always, closing the eyes half is recommended, but that is only in the beginning. If the other conditions are satisfied, I am sure you won't sleep, you will be able to meditate. So this is the description given in Prapanchasara. And one more warning or helpful hint is given in Yoga Sutra and Brahma Sutra. Tad japas tadartha bhavanam avrittihi asakrit upadeshat. Repeating the mantra, whether it is Ashtakshari or Panchakshari or any mantra that is given to us by our Guru, it must be done with artha bhavana, with full knowledge of its meaning and power. After all, what is the meaning of the mantra? Meaning of the mantra is the deity which it represents. So, when we repeat the mantra, we should also concentrate our minds on the deity. If the mantra is very powerful, is it not enough if we repeat it only once in a lifetime? Lazy people can put this question. So, Badarayana Vyasa says nothing doing. Avrittihi asakrit upadeshat. You should go on repeating it again and again. There are only two limits. One is the death of the body, the other is God realization. So until we actually get the experience, spiritual experience, we should repeat the mantra. And through the repetition of the mantra, we are able to get that sakshatkara or realization. So these are the various ideas, associated ideas concerning the Ashtakshari mantra. A person who does this, Yohavai Narayanasya Ashtaksharam Padam Adhyeti, one who gets this Ashtakshari mantra from the Guru and does japa of it, he, Anapabruvaha, he will live in such a way that there is no ill fame for him. He will be free from bad name or ill fame. without apakirti. That means with kirti. He will be highly respected and revered in this world. Bhagavan is the word that we use for the Lord, and according to Vishnu Purana and Bhagavata, Bhaga means a set of 6 qualities, divine qualities. Shad Guna Aishwarya Sampanna, that is the word that is used there. Out of the Shad Gunas of the Lord, Yashas is also one. Yashas are Kirti. So a person who is devoted to Lord Narayana, he will live in such a way that he leaves a mark behind, a good name. Swami Vivekananda says, for having come into this world, leave a mark behind, he says. When you are walking on the sands, you leave your footprints there, something like that. In the Gita, while advising Arjuna to fight, Krishna says, Akirtincha pribhutani kathayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranat atirichyate. If you retire from the battlefield now, though you may be thinking that you are retiring out of compassion, other people will not be so generous. They will say that we have run away from the battlefield out of fear. And for a Kshatriya who has become very famous, to get apakirti is worse than death. Maranat atirichyate. So, the Upanishad is telling us that a person who is initiated with the Ashtakshari mantra leads such a fine, good life that he will get nothing but kirti, good kirti, and is above apakirti or ill fame. Sarvam ayuh et, that is the next phrase. So one who is devoted to the Ashtakshari mantra and repeats it throughout his life until he gets the actual experience of the Lord, he will also get ayuh, sarvam ayuh. The whole life, complete life. The duration of human life is 100 years. Shatayur vai purushaha. The Rig Veda says, man verily lives for 100 years. That is the normal span of human life. And this Upanishad is telling, one who is devoted to Lord Narayana will live the full span of life, 100 years. Kurvanyeveha karmani jijivishit shatam samaha. Ishavasya Upanishad says in its very second shloka, one has to desire to live the full span of human life, 100 years, by doing karma, scripture ordained actions. You cannot sit quiet, you cannot be lazy, you have got to work in this world. And what type of work can we do? The work that has been recommended by the scriptures, ordained by the scriptures, prescribed by the scriptures. The nitya karma, naimitya karma, other dharmika karma, and kartavya karma, and so on. All these things have got to be done by us. The Vedic Aryans were not a race of defeatists. They wanted to live a good life here and now. Pashyema sharadashatam, jivema sharadashatam, nandama sharadashatam, modama sharadashatam, bhavama sharadashatam, shrunavama sharadashatam, prabravama sharadashatam, ajitasyama sharadashatam. This is a famous mantra from the Krishna Yajurveda, which is repeated at the time of Sandhya Vandana, Madhyandhika is called. So looking at the sun, this is repeated. We will see 100 Sharad Ritus, 100 seasons. We will live for 100 years. We will be happy for 100 years, and so on. So it's a religion with full vigor and vitality. They were not defeatists. They were not telling like the Vedanta of the recent years, Sakumado, Oi Janma Sakumado. There are bhajan songs like that. We have to throw them away to the waste paper basket. Unless and until the body is strong and healthy, nothing can be achieved in life. So all these ideas given in the Vedas reflect that. After all is said and done, even as Sri Ramakrishna says, This body is a wonderful instrument given by the Lord. Shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhana. If the body is pure, clean, healthy, strong and energetic, whatever we want in life we can get. And for adhyatmika jivana or spiritual life, it is even more necessary. The body must be able to withstand the rigors of tapas. Once there is arogya and ayus, then great things can be done. And the best thing that we can do in our life is God experience. So the Upanishad is telling that one who repeats the Ashtakshari mantra will get the full span of life. He will live for the full span of human life.